guys. Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to the surface of Mars right here in the Atlantis Chaos region. Behind one of these areas where we can't see the entire surface of Mars, you're going to see some leaked images that were sent to me by Andrew that shows a city, or what was once a city. Here's the email that was sent to me by Andrew, images of Mars, sending some images of what appear to be an ancient village on the surface of Mars. You can zoom in and take a look around, as this cannot be natural in origin. From the Atlantis Chaos region of Mars as taken by the MRO. Two images attached. We're going to come back and take a look at what appears to be clear evidence of a lost civilization on the surface of Mars. But first, coming over here to spaceweather.com, I wanted to give you guys yet another update on these large asteroids that definitely appear to have not been traveling alone. The first one, the very large one, a 1.5 mile wide asteroid that came by on the 27th, and then on the 28th we saw two decent-sized ones. On the 29th we saw one 540 feet wide. There's been an addition, actually there's been two additions, two new ones. The 2.4 LD on the 28th and the 0.2 LD are new additions just recently discovered as these large ones made a close approach to the Earth, coming over here to the American Meteor Society, looking at the reports from the 25th, 27th, and 29th. Saw 198 reports out of DC, Delaware, Maryland, North Carolina, 31 reports from over in Europe, and 65 reports from out here in the southwestern United States. And here's one of the videos from the night of June 29th. You can clearly see the sky just loaded with meteorites falling to the Earth, as there was an increase in sightings around the world as these large asteroids made their close approach. And they may not be done yet. There could be more in the coming days, so keep an eye on the night and daytime skies. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, today's feature photos sent in by Daniel Fenton out of Minnesota. Those are some of the biggest mammatus clouds, orange mammatus clouds, I think I've ever seen following a storm recently in Missouri. Checking in on the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center, all quiet the last 24 hours. Schumann resonance, all quiet the last 24 hours. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. Notice the earthquake activity along the northern half of the caldera. The southern half is relatively quiet. You don't see too much going on the seismographs. In the southern half of the caldera, most of the activity is around the northern half and the northeastern quadrant, which is notoriously busy, but there is a little bit of earthquake activity scattered across the northern rim of the supervolcano caldera. I want to take you guys now to the surface of Mars. Some truly amazing photos that were shared with me by Andrew just a few days ago. I've been working on these photos. I was actually trying to convert them to a color format, and I'm still working on that. I'm just not completely finished yet, but here we go. We're going to the surface of Mars. These images were shared with me by Andrew. Here we go. You're going to see, beyond any shadow of a doubt really, proof of some sort of intelligent creatures on the surface of Mars at some point in time. Notice the structure here, the layout of what looks like, as Andrew described, a village, possibly a small city. Notice all the 90-degree angles forming squares and rectangles of various sizes, some bigger than others, some smaller than others. But notice right here, this looks like a capital you would see in the capital city of a state. That looks like a dome of a rotunda. Isn't that cool? I mean, that is clearly of intelligent design. And I mean, you could spend hours looking around here, finding different things, adjusting the lighting and color. And I have spent a lot of time looking at this particular site and the next photo that I'm going to share with you guys in the same area. It's just a wider field of view. This area right here looks like a taller, probably a 5, maybe 6 story. It's difficult to tell, but I'd say it's somewhere between 40 and 60 feet tall. That looks like a vertical building. This looks like a roundish building. This over here almost looks like some sort of a pyramid. And then, of course, all of the squares that you see all over the place. No denying that. Those are definitely of intelligent origin. Here it is in a slightly different format. I just simply adjusted the lighting. Here I adjusted the lighting again. You can easily see the squares and rectangles and what look like buildings. And there's a lot of other things to see in here. If you take the time and go over this area very, very slowly, there is a lot to see. Here it is in a inverted format. Light is dark, dark is light. And notice the lines that form up all of these rectangles and squares. And right here's the rotunda, the round looking building. Here's the taller looking building. Here's the pyramid shaped building. There's a lot of things to see here if you take your time and go over this area really super slow. Here I took away a lot of the darkness and just kind of oversaturated it with light, and it didn't really produce anything other than what we could see in the other previous images. Here I zoom in on what looks like the Capitol building. Very, very bizarre. This is on the surface of Mars, by the way. Here's another what looks like a taller structure. And here's image number 2. Check this out. It's a wider field of view. And you can see the squares and rectangle shapes go on down around the southern end. I'm assuming this is the southern end. You can see some over here as well. And if you look up here in the upper left, you can tell at one time there were structures here. There's at least 90-degree angles left. They're just not as obvious as the ones over here on the right and then these down here. These look like they sustained some sort of damage from something. I don't know what, but these down here look to be in much better condition. These up here look a little rougher. There's the rotunda again, the round building right in the center of what could have been once a thriving city. I don't know, it looks like at the very least a large village of some sort. Definitely speaking very, very loudly intelligent design. There's that building right there. This is when I kind of noticed it in this format here. You can see a vertical structure right there. There's a good view of that dome-shaped building right there. It's even reflecting light, or at least it appears to be. And again, notice all of the nearly perfect squares. They're obviously in pretty rough condition right now, but you get the idea. Those are definitely square with 90-degree angles, and they were built with purpose in mind. They were built for something. I don't know if they were built for protection, if they maybe once had rooftops on them. Maybe they still do. It's just impossible to tell from this angle. Here's another building right here. This appears to have almost a V shape to it, like a pyramid would, but it's difficult to tell. Here's a format that brought forward the dome right there in the center, and you can see what looks like a vertical structure there. There's another look at the pyramid-ish shaped building, not an exactly perfectly shaped pyramid, but close. Up here looks a little smoother, like maybe, I don't know, something happened to that part of the city or large village, however you want to identify it. But notice all of the 90-degree angles. They're just everywhere, galore. This was obviously built with purpose. It had a function at one time, similar to a city that has infrastructure, streets and roads that run east, west, north, and south, and when they intersect, they form city blocks. That's maybe what we have going on here. Maybe these are like city blocks. Maybe these were some sort of roads that we now see that look like walls. Maybe those are roads that intersect and form blocks like we have today. I don't know. But that clearly looks like a building. That clearly looks like a dome right there in the center of all of these, either roads or walls. But whatever they are, wherever they came from, you can tell this location was engineered. It didn't happen by chance. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.